Okay, hi everyone. Welcome to my interview with Tracey Buckley. She is the owner of Medfield Yoga Studio in Medfield, Massachusetts, and she just completed my 16-week profitable studio strategy program. So we wanted to create a video to introduce you to Tracey and tell you about the experience. So welcome. Thanks for being
Hello.
here. um, Tell whoever's listening, I guess, a little bit about who you are, your business, how old is it, how big is it, what do you do, all that good stuff.
Great. I opened Medfield Yoga Studio in January. Our doors opened in January of 2012. And I never, ever thought I would own my own business. I never, ever thought I would ever teach yoga or own a studio ever. So it was a very windy road to where we are now. Um, Opened in 2012 with not much experience at all in or any idea of how to run a business, and was very aware that I did not want to feel pushy or salesy because it was me and that isn't comfortable for me, but it was also yoga. And I kept saying, oh, I just wanted to grow word of mouth. And um, yeah, that that was fine. We started making money day one, month one, which is amazing. And it isn't a lot, and it hasn't been a lot until rewind a few months. Um, but it was steady. I found a great group of teachers throughout the years, let go some people that weren't fitting in and weren't um, who I wanted representing our studio. And after 8 years, almost 8 years, I said, I've got to do this. I've got to find a way to, I kept saying, I want to bust out. I want to bust out. And that led me to you.
So before you'd called me, you'd already been open for quite a long time. I think
Seven and a half.
like
Yeah.
7.5 years. And so
Yep.
what was sort of the breaking point, or what was the impetus to reach out to me?
So I feel like I've gotten to a point where like I kept saying, I kept feeling literally like I was pushing up against, I kept feeling like bust out, like I literally wanted to bust out of things. And I wanted to see significant growth. I want this yoga studio to be not just make a little bit of money and not provide, like, I want it to make a ton of money. Not to be a jerk, but again, I wanted to, um, yeah, with all the work that I do and effort I put into it, I want it to be a financially um, really smart business. And it is a business. And I didn't ever think of it like that, which was funny. And so I called around to a couple of um, coaches, and I knew I wanted someone who owned a yoga studio, and talked to a couple of people, and everyone was lovely. I might be going into a different question here, but
That's okay.
okay. um, but when I spoke with you, I felt like you were what I needed. You were the person that was um, going to hold me accountable and not, oh, that's good, Tracey. Nice work. Oh, maybe we could try this. It was like, no, here's what we're going to do. What do you think about this? How can we do it? And that's what I was looking for and what I needed. I needed a kick in the pants.
I think you're
A very nice, gentle, loving kick in the pants.
loving kick in the pants. Yeah.
Yes,
I think that's like the perfect description of my coaching style, a
yeah,
loving kick in the pants.
totally.
But you're touching on something really interesting, which is not unique, and it's this attitude in the yoga community that we can't have a spiritual business that's also for profit. I think that is an overarching theme in most everyone that I work with. And can't blame anyone, right? Because
Right.
most of us who love yoga open studios for no other reason than we love yoga. So
Right.
um, can you kind of pinpoint the moment where you decided enough is enough? This is a business that, you know, is supposed to make money, and what was
Yeah. I was, I put off putting, I put all of my expenses and things into QuickBooks myself, and I hand that over to my account. And I usually procrastinate until about September, October to do the whole year, which I know. But
That's
I
okay.
started doing that, and I was just looking at them, and I'm no accountant or bookkeeper by any stretch, but I just started looking at some of the numbers and I thought, what? What? Like, and I never really gave a hard look. And these weren't even a hard look at the reports or anything like that. This was just expenses
Money
in
in, money
QuickBooks.
out. Yep.
That was it. And it wasn't a deep dive, but it was like a holy crap. What, why am I spending all of this time and effort if it is not financially advantageous? I want to say, but that's not the word. Like, if it doesn't make sense, if it's basically volunteering.
Yeah.
And I'm on the hook with a lease. I'm on the hook with utilities. I'm on the hook with a lot of things. And to have it be a hobby that makes a little bit of money, it wasn't. It just hit me.
You
And I just turned
basically
50. So I'm like, we're gonna I need to figure
yeah,
it out. So a little
create
bit
a
of everything,
job for yourself, you know,
right?
not
Yes.
business. Yeah.
Yes.
So throughout the course of our 4 months together, 4 months might sound like sort of a long time, but it's not when you consider how much change I asked you to make. And
Totally.
you were by and large my ideal client, but we definitely bumped up against some resistance in a couple of different
Totally.
places,
Yes.
which is all part of the process.
Hmm.
So can you tell me a little bit about any hesitation to change and what helped you,
Oh, yes.
examples and
Sure. When our first call, which was that just the getting to know, is this a good fit call? Um, Back up. Going into this, I hadn't raised my prices in 6.5 years. I had a drop in for $15. I had a,
ah!
I don't, I know, now I get it. I had a 5 pack, a 10 pack, and a 20 pack. And that was it. And the drop ins were probably, I would say, 60 to 65% of my business. I think after now knowing what we knew. And when on that first phone call, you had said, well, we're going to talk about membership. That's really where I lean and where I coach. And if you're not willing to do that, then maybe I'm not the best fit for you. And I was like, oh, I don't know. I said, I'm open to it, but I wasn't really open to it. I don't think. I think I was willing to listen to it, but I didn't think it was really going to make sense to me because I had a lot of negative connotations about that. And it was funny. I said to you, like, or you said, how do you feel about that? And I'm like, well, I think about the gym that I joined and I never went, but there I was paying membership. And you said, well, whose fault is that? And I was like, oh, not theirs. So it was those little things. So I think the whole membership thing, I was very nervous about. I think increasing the prices as much as I did made me very uncomfortable. I thought I would lose clients. I thought no one would want to be a member. And I told you so much. And there was one point I said, I need to slow down. I need to step back and I need a week to just kind of process what's happening. And you said, absolutely. What do you want to talk about? Let's figure this out. I think there were a lot of things that I was uncomfortable with, the changes that I was uncomfortable with. And I feel like you were very generous in allowing me that time and explaining things to me when I needed extra explaining to, when needed a little talking off the ledge and things like that. But you also held my feet to the fire. And you didn't say, oh, okay, well, oh, you're right. Memberships might not work, so let's not do it. It was like, no, here's what it is. Look at your numbers and let's see what makes sense.
Can you talk a little bit? Well, first of all, thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank
Can
you.
you talk a little bit about the process of
Mm.
announcing these changes to your long-term clients? Like, I think one of the things about having such a small studio and a tight-knit community is that we know our clients. You know, it's not like we're
100%.
announcing pricing changes to these, faceless beings, right?
Totally.
We know exactly who they are. So can you talk about that
Yeah,
process and how it was received?
sure. Um, I think it worked out perfectly. And I think we started working together. I can't remember if it was the beginning or end of November. And so it was lined up almost perfectly for the beginning of the year. And that made me feel comfortable that it was 8 years and it was the new year. So I would feel a little more comfortable making those changes then. And I started sending out emails like, hey, we're going to change our pricing. I think I started in November with our monthly, maybe it was like the December newsletter that I send out on the first of the month. And then I think I sent out another couple, really diving deeply into what the memberships are and what the benefits are and how much it'll cost and why is this and who will this be best for. Increasing the drop-in price to $20, which now I know it should be more than that, which I think I'm going to do when we open back up. I had some questions about the membership and how does this work and what do you think would be best and they were very answerable to me. Like I found them very easy to answer. I did not hear one thing about raising my drop-in price. Not one. And I left a studio that I used to practice at before I owned this. They raised their price to $18 a drop-in. And this is probably 8 or 9 years ago. And I was like, nope. Granted, it was 35 minutes away. So it was a big fat effort anyway. My kids were like 3 and 5. So it was not easy to get there anyway. But no one said a word.
I think you just touched on something really, really important, which is that we are not our clients, right? So we're not creating pricing options for yoga teachers who like to hop around to different studios.
Totally.
We're not creating pricing options for people who live 35 minutes away.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of studio owners get stuck on that I mentality of, well, I wouldn't pay more than $25 for yoga or whatever. But we don't realize that our customers' wealth consciousness is probably totally different from ours. So I just learned this a couple of weeks ago, actually, where a yoga studio owner's wealth consciousness is somewhere in the ballpark of $50,000 to $150,000 a year. Like we can't imagine making more money than that. But most of our customers do not fall into that category. So by raising the price a couple of dollars, it's so much more, we put so much more thought into it than they do.
100%.
Yeah.
It was painful. And I'm sure it was more painful for you to listen to me about raising my price. But again, raising the price and offering the memberships made sense. After I sat with you and we worked through it and you explained it, then it made sense why we needed to raise the price that much.
So talk a little bit about your results and how quickly did you see improvement?
Oh my God. Yes. I can't even tell you. So we started January 1st with, so Nicole had said, what is have an introductory offer for, I only had 2 levels, mini membership, which was up to 5 times a month, and an unlimited. And I offered the introductory price for like a week or so before from a week or so before January 1st, so end of December, through December, or through January, excuse me. And Nicole had said, basically, you're always going to sell the intro price. Very rarely will you sell the other price, but it's like, hey, you get in now, you can get it for $10 off a month. I more than doubled my numbers from last January, this January.
Your
More
sales
than doubled.
numbers?
Sales numbers, 105% over.
Wow.
I almost fell, literally almost passed out. February, we doubled it. And March was on track to, and we may have even beat it, but we closed on, our last day was March 13th. And we still beat our numbers from last year. But clearly there was a slowdown.
Of course.
So
let's address the elephant in the room.
Yeah.
I know for anyone watching this, today is April 10th, 2020. And of course,
I don't even know what day it is.
I really had to think about that. We are in the midst of COVID-19 closures. And of course, no one has any idea how long this is going to last, but I think it behooves us to err on the side of extreme caution and assume we're going to be closed for at least a couple of months. So it really breaks my heart, like this situation in particular, for all the clients that I had that were like just getting going and just starting to see results, to kind of have the rug ripped out from under them is really been a struggle for me, and
Mm-hmm.
sure it has been for you too. But can you speak at all about how the coaching or how the revenue increase has prepared you for this, or anything that you're going to let go of the moment you reopen as a result of our work together?
Yeah, totally. I feel like with all of the huge changes that we had made during our time, looking back, it was scarier going toward it, all those changes, and the results were amazing. And I think when we closed our doors, I didn't know what we were going to do. I didn't want to go online. That was so not me. And then I was like, nope. We got online. I took a week off trying to get things together, trying to learn Zoom and get in as much information as I could.
Basically a brand new business in a week.
It's a whole new business model. I never wanted to teach online, ever. I never put videos up. I never did any of that. And I feel like with all of the grand changes that I made for the business, with you kind of walking next to me, I feel like, excuse me, I had more confidence to throw something out there. And again, it was a calculated risk. It was like, all right, I'm using Zoom and I took my time and here's what we're offering. But I felt much more confident to do that. And again, the first class I taught online, I was shaking. I was nervous. I was sweating through my clothes. It was like I had never taught a class before.
Me too.
It was the weirdest. I mean, I've been teaching for 10 years and I never get nervous. I have never been more nervous in, I don't even know how long. And it was great. And we've had quite a few of our clients stay on. And I did change the whole pricing model. So I did end up stopping the memberships, thinking, okay, this will last a month. And yeah, and so we're just going to go with it. And I am so fortunate, I feel like, to be in this position where we can still, in our business right now, we can adapt to this new reality and put some content online and make some money, which a lot of businesses can't. And I feel that we are offering such an important service in this time, that I'm happy I'm part of. I can offer that to people, and I'm not sitting scared not doing it. So that's a huge change. All those changes we made, I feel like led me right to what we're doing now.
Yeah, one of the things I talk about a lot, I love that you talked about confidence, because I always say I'm not a person who has like the most advanced tech strategy behind me. You know, I don't have all these secrets of studio ownership that no one else knows about. But what I do have is confidence in my ability to change what's not working really, really quickly.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's something that I've seen in you, is that, you know, if it doesn't work, having the one ability to notice it, right? Like if you don't know it's happening, if you're not tracking, then you
Yeah.
can't go far from there,
Mm.
right? But you notice things, and then now you have the tools to actually change what's not working. So if a month goes by and this current model isn't what it needs to be, do you feel like you have some things in your back pocket to?
Yeah, I do. And I feel like I also now have resources,
Mhm.
and to be able um to know that I don't have to know everything,
Mm,
because I don't. I'll be the first to say I don't know. And with this business model now being all online, I don't know. This is new to most of us. Um, but being able to reach out, whether it's in our yoga studio owners group or to you, or and just say, hey, what are you thinking about this? Or how is this working? Or what are your thoughts about that? And I do. I don't know if you said, do you have the tools? I don't know if I have the tools to try new things. I definitely feel like I have the confidence, like you were saying, and the security to say, this isn't working, or
it's
that's not working, or this is definitely.
so important to ask for help. I have a whole army
Totally.
of people that I lean on when I need
Hmm.
an answer to a question. So thank you
Totally.
for sharing that. Um, so I guess my last question to you is, what was your biggest takeaway from our time together?
That's a good question. And the first thing, the word that keeps coming to my head when you just said that is change, 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 change. It's scary. I mean, 8 years, I was doing my little business, my little job, I should say, because it was my little job, and changing my perspective, changing my approach, changing the business model, changing my management style, changing all of that stuff felt very scary. And I don't think, no, I know, I would not have been able to do 99% of what happened since November by myself. I know. I know. It's huge. And it was nice having someone who's done it before and has seen results before, to know that I wasn't walking out on this limb by myself.
Yes. Well, thank you for asking for help. It's been such an honor working with
Oh
you.
my God.
That
It's been awesome.
nobody knows what the future holds, but I can't wait to see what you do next and to stay in touch. So for anyone who's thinking about consulting or coaching, you can find me at NicoleDeandriaConsulting.com. And thank you for watching. Bye.
Thank you.